Oh,
Hey, thank you for joining the Untitled Studios podcast number 34. Stabby is back at the helm of this crazy thing.
everybody
And
run.
the only other person who decided to join Stabby is Engelhardt.
As always, I have great attendance.
Yeah, that reminds me of this place I used to work at, and they gave me the key to the building.
Oh.
Because literally I hadn't missed a day in like 2 years. It was just like 2 years of perfect attendance, and they're like, we're going to give you the key because nobody else is here as much as you are. Not because I was like, had seniority or whatever. And then another guy who was like the sort of like senior guy on the shift cut the fuck out of his face because he was all pissed off over it.
Goddamn, why?
Dude had
Why?
issues.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
There were a couple times we had to talk to him as a group and be like, look, man, we're glad you feel comfortable sharing your stories about cutting yourself with us,
But no.
but you need to be a little less detailed because we don't want to know how you filled up like a cup of a glass with your blood and shit like that.
Dude.
Oh, it got real intense. Otherwise, dude was way cool. That was just like the one little thing that was just a little off about the guy.
Just slightly?
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the cutting, he'd be a badass dude. I think he was like a closet case or something, like some weird issues with his just like homosexuality.
Oh, I'm sure that would
Like he was
other issues. I guess that sounds really bad.
This is a bright and cheerful way to start it up. So let's move on to the presentation.
Okay.
I did.
I
make
actually have something for afterwards too. Surprise!
Oh, good.
Surprise.
All right, so here we go with Uncle Stabby. Once upon a time, Uncle Stabby. Oh, you can see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
good. Just want to make sure it is being shared. Once upon a time, Uncle Stabby went to the doctor's office to get some blood work done. Now, Uncle Stabby hates his bitter little heart almost as much as he hates kids.
Nah.
Now, because Uncle Stabby is deathly afraid of needles, he likes to sit by himself as far away from the needles as possible and read quietly. This makes Uncle Stabby happy because then he doesn't have to think about needles until he absolutely has to.
I'm just gonna let it keep going.
Now, unbeknownst to Uncle Stabby, the devil was walking toward him on this fateful day. The devil in this case took the form of a mom with terrible judgment and her son. Apparently, her son was afraid of getting shots, and Mom was a lazy bitch. For some twisted reason, Mom decided to have her son come to Stabby for courage instead of talking to her kid all by herself. Fuck. So Mom, in all her wisdom, sent the kid over to ask Uncle Stabby to tell him how he wasn't afraid of getting shots. This was a mistake because Uncle Stabby doesn't like lying to kids or filling their heads with unrealistic expectations. Uncle Stabby also has virtually no filter because other people's feelings to have a filter.
Actually, that sounds pretty real. So this is turning into nonfiction.
This is mostly a true story.
Oh,
Just
okay.
so you know. So the little boy walked over to Uncle Stabby and asked, "Are you afraid to get your shots?" To this, Stabby replied, "I'm absolutely terrified of getting shots." At this point, Mom, I used the wrong through. I just want to point that out. I used the wrong through. Threw Uncle Stabby a very angry look. Reluctantly, Stabby continued with, "But sometimes you have to be brave and do things, even when you are scared. That is what bravery is."
Nice save.
Oh, yeah. Not knowing how to leave well enough alone, Stabby followed this with, "Only idiots and fools have no fear because they don't understand life well enough." Now the kid threw Uncle Stabby a curveball, but my dad isn't afraid of anything. Dun, dun, dun.
Holy shit.
Now at this point, Mom looks horrified and luckily speechless. So Uncle Stabby let this bomb drop. "I'm sure your dad tells you that because he doesn't think you can handle the truth." The kid had no response to this, but looked very thoughtful. At this point, Mom was glaring swords at poor Uncle Stabby. I would have said daggers, but that really doesn't cut it. As if somehow Uncle Stabby was responsible for her terrible parenting choice.
Oh my god.
Stabby, on the other hand, was rescued by the nurse calling him into getting his blood work. And that was the first and last time Uncle Stabby was happy to get a needle stuck in his arm.
For America.
Yep. I'm not leaving any contact information because I don't want anybody contacting me about that.
That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much a true story. I mean, I cleaned up the language a little bit and made it like a little easier to more palatable, but basically that's exactly how that went down.
Like, cleaned up the language how? Did you...
Uncle Stabby swears a lot.
You cleaned it up for me?
No, I just wanted to make it sound more like an actual bedtime story.
Oh, no.
So it's like, you know, like it sounded as much like you can of it, like reading it out of a storybook. Not to clean it up because I'm worried, but Uncle Stabby does swear a lot. Uncle Stabby's not really good at not swearing around kids because, as it turns out, not one of their heads has popped. None of them have lit on fire. They've all been perfectly fine.
You must do more research.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, you know, from the way people, you know, seem to act, it's like little kids are going to, like, catch on fire if you swear around them, but turns out not the case. All right. You said you had something to share, like a good news story?
I don't want to know about good, but it's definitely a news story. But I like it. And I usually take from BBC. I don't know why I like BBC so much.
Probably because they're more accurate than any of our news. Any U.S. news.
Possibly, yeah. So here we are. You can see what I'm doing?
Yep, you're on.
Pluto! So I was really happy when Pluto became, well, technically declared a planet again. But,
God, really?
we're going back and forth. But I thought this was cool because it's, I guess, better pictures, or I guess even just pictures in general, of Pluto itself. I guess a lot more, like, clear cut and up close and personal.
Oh, okay. So they had, like, a probe that went out or something?
Yeah, it was, what's it called? The New Horizons probe? Yeah, New Horizons.
I like to think that somewhere it'll land on another planet and, like, aliens will be like, why do they keep trying to probe us, man?
These guys are perverted. They keep taking pictures of us.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm changing, mother...
Oh, that looks pretty cool, man.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. I'm, as much as I probably don't have the physical well-being to ever be an astronaut, I love space. Space. But, or I'm clearly not good enough for engineering.
Yeah, really.
That takes a whole mind that I can never even, amount to. And that's not just being hard on myself, that's just being real.
Oh, I mean, I could do the math, but I can't stand doing it. I hate the math.
Well, I would say go for it because there's definitely money and career involved.
Yeah, one that I'd absolutely hate every single day, every minute of every day of.
Untitled Studios message of the day: do what you love.
Well, you know, you only get one life. Why spend it doing something miserable?
Or you'll cuss out kids in the doctor's office.
I didn't swear the kid out. I just casually swear.
Okay, so you will casually talk to a child and make them question their dad's motives.
Yeah, I think his dad was like a fireman or something. And I was just like, yeah, I'm sure he tells you that, dude.
Which is weird because I would like the answer that it's like, yeah, you're afraid, but it's okay to be afraid.
Oh no, I think I helped that kid out.
Yeah.
I think it's a terrible thing to set that sort of unreasonable expectation for your kid, to tell them like that as a father you're never afraid, so that they think that they have to be like that. That's just awful.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, Mom was not happy with me. She was really angry, but luckily so angry she couldn't talk. or whatever, you know?
And then nurse came in to save the day.
Yeah, no, it was really timely. Like the nurse came in and called me in to go get my blood work done, and I was like, "Woohoo! This is the first time I'm happy to go in there
Yay.
because this
Oh,
was getting really awkward."
postpone.
You know, it's almost as bad as if I'd asked him to, you know, next time you see your dad, ask him why mom's goodnight kisses always taste so salty. That's from a webcomic. That's not my joke. I stole that.
Still, that's really gross.
Oh man. Oh,
I
did
will
you hear
try-
the story about Ariana Grande?
No.
This is so ridiculous. It's ridiculous as awesomeness.
Fill me in.
So Ariana Grande will not face criminal charges after donut licking incident. So there was actually surveillance footage that ended up on the web because that's what happens like now all the time. If you're a celebrity, you just can't go anywhere and do crazy shit.
Yeah.
But her and her boyfriend got caught licking unattended donuts that were like on top of the display case. At what is it, Woofy Donuts in Lake Elsinore, California. I don't really give a shit about that part.
The fuck?
Yeah, like they just leaned over and started licking the display donuts, trying to do it when nobody was looking.
Schnozberries do not taste like schnozberries. Come on.
Well, but which is really dumb because everywhere has fucking cameras now. Like, why would you just not assume that there's cameras there at this point?
Yeah.
The other thing she did was she also said, you know, I hate Americans and I hate America. Like I watched the video. So somebody came up to put like more donuts on the top because they were clearing space to put them in the display case.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What is this shit? Oh, I hate America. I hate Americans." And it was just and she said it really like casually. It was just like a spoiled brat little moment. But the way you hear it on like the radio and stuff, they were like, "She said this and it was awful." And I'm just like, "Yeah, whatever. She's a dummy."
That sounds about right. But goddamn, like, I don't know. I would never think about doing something like that.
Yeah.
Even when you're like a young little shit sometimes.
Yep. Oh, and they got downgraded to a B. The restaurant did because you're not supposed to leave the products available for people to touch.
Yeah.
For precisely that reason. Although I do recommend watching the video because it's really funny, and her boyfriend looks like the biggest piece of shit. He just looks like a piece of shit. Like it is the guy that every girl brings home just to piss her parents off.
Nice.
He's wearing a handkerchief on his head, unironically.
Okay, yeah, now I have to watch this.
Yeah. You can find it, just search it, or it'll be the link in the description. And here's the only other thing I think I have that's celebrity related. Tom Selleck accused of stealing water.
Huh?
Yeah. So Tom Selleck has it's a 60-acre ranch. And what was going on was a tanker truck would drive out of his ranch, go over, pull up to the same fire hydrant every time, fill up, and then just go back into the ranch. And they think about 1.4 million gallons of water were stolen during that period. Like it's either, what is it, two-year period or something like that? It's 2 or 3 years or something like that. So the water district, apparently the water district has to do all the stuff themselves because they had to hire a private detective to prove it. Like the police don't. I don't understand that one.
Me neither.
But yeah, no. I don't think he's admitted fault, but he has paid for it. Because there was a lawsuit against him. And so it's probably one of those cases where like, well, I'm not saying I'm guilty, but if you all shut your fucking mouths, here's a lot of money. Yeah, we're gonna settle so I don't get in trouble.
Go America.
Oh, I love that. I just thought it was so fucking just a couple of great celebrity stories. Better than fucking Cosby raping a bunch of women. That's fucked up.
I mean, I would imagine that there'd be a handful of people that wouldn't be complete douchebags who are famous.
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton, man. You just don't hear about them.
I know. It's just like you almost want someone like when you instantly hear about, oh, Cosby did this, he's such a horrible person. But here's someone who actually has some fucking common sense. Da 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 da, and you're like, oh, thank
Well,
you.
you know,
There is sanity in the
you want
world
like a
when you're
black
famous.
comedian? Look at Chris Rock.
Yeah, yeah.
Rock's super huge, and he keeps to himself. Doesn't make the
Eh.
Kevin Hart. I think is just starting to get. And they go out and do like.
Oh, technology. Now, is that me or is that you? The best
Readily.
podcast ever. It's the best podcast ever. We're cutting out.
Oh God, one of my. You're cutting out, or am I cutting out?
You were to me, but that might mean mine is all shit.
I think I'm doing all right because you weren't cutting out for me. So.
So that sucks.
Yay for internet connection issues! Woohoo!
Woo! We're really pro at this.
Oh man, so this is a story I heard that I thought was pretty fucking awesome. Maybe the best case of mistaken identity on the planet. Unbelievable.
Oh god.
Pet owner is shocked to find out that the two cute puppies he bought when raised for 2 years are actually bears. So Home Skillet bought a couple of dogs off some dude who was working on some banana trees or something. And turned out they were actually not just bears, but what is it? Extremely rare ones. I'm trying to find out if it says what they were. He said it was great that they had healthy appetites.
Crazy.
No, it's not telling me what kind of bears they were, but you can they don't look anything like dogs at all.
Yeah, no.
Nothing about that says dog to me. They also display strange behavior, such as killing and eating his pet chickens. Yeah.
Oh no, that's not strange at all. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the police came and took the pets away.
No. Oh, they're Asian black bears.
Black bears, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
a male and a female. That's pretty good.
All right.
Yeah. That blows my mind. Like that you would just be that. Like I've heard this story before enough times in enough different places to figure it's probably like urban legend. But like an old lady comes into a pet store and she's got like a cat carrier, and what she thinks is her pet cat is really a skunk that she somehow managed to like force to be tamed.
Nice.
And so she goes into the vet and she's like, "Oh, my cat's really sick, and I need you to help it." And they're like, "That's a fucking skunk. Get it out of here. We don't treat skunks."
It's gonna spray us. Please don't let it spray us.
Yeah, and then she just continues to like refuse to follow attention. I've also heard the story with a badger instead of a skunk.
Nice.
So I don't know that there may be like some grain of truth to it, but I'd Snopes that shit. But I like to think that it's true.
Yeah. Oh man. Gotta keep this train rolling. I know, right?
It's just like dead silence. It needs a
There's
drum
too
roll.
much silence. We can't do this anymore.
Oh man.
It shows that with two people, we're fucked.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to do with two people.
There's only so much I
have
can
you heard
talk
about
to you.
that? What is it? TTP or TPP? The
TPP?
trade agreement?
Oh
It's-
yeah, with Iran, you know.
No. There's like that trade agreement that basically gives like corporations the run of the world,
Oh fuck.
where they
No.
can like sue states and countries for like profit loss because of laws restricting their business due to environmental factors or stuff like that.
How the fuck did that get through?
I don't know if it's gotten through yet, but I know that the president recently signed into law a new law that will allow him to fast track it without having to go through all the regular processes.
TPP?
I think it's TPP or PTT. It's like the Pacific Trade Agreement. Let me look it up real quick. I should have had this looked up early.
We're
But
just
it's
on
kinda
top of it today.
sketchy.
Let's see.
Yeah. Transport Agreement.
Yep. It's probably the biggest trading deal you'll never have heard of. God damn it.
Like, well, I occasionally get weird stutters of these motherfuckers.
What? That's all, folks.
I love how there's all these like awesome thing in the world, but
I didn't catch a lick of that. Hello in TV land.
we needed.
We need someone with a solid fucking connection. That's what we need.
Yeah, connection is so bad all the time.
Aye. Anywho. I guess we can just keep trying to steamroll through this sucker.
I'm back.
Oh, there you go. Wait. Stay with me.
Back and no.
There you are. Nope. Yes. Nope. Yep. No. Yes. No.
To extend restrictive intellectual property laws across and of its. Oh goddamn. Okay. Anyway, that's a really one. What?
It won't let up. Like, it really just does not want it to work. Like, at all. I can't even... Yeah, I finally heard that. That's about right, actually.
Am I back? I think I was trying to kill the bandwidth really badly.
Yeah, I think that was about... I mean, it just started clearing up about now, so I think whatever you were trying to do just, like, fucked it over.
One of the web pages I loaded must have had a bunch of shit that was running on the background. The Trans-Pacific Partnership for corporations to enforce their own rules of how things are made and what trade laws are being used internationally.
Oh, okay.
So, for instance, if California has laws that restrict companies from selling or doing their products here because of environmental reasons or whatever else, they could sue the state for lost profits.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and it's set to fast track. Like, Obama had a law passed that will allow him to fast track this and not have to go through the standards that normally trade agreements would have to go through. If it occurs, literally, it will basically mean that corporations are running our country.
Yeah.
Like, it won't even be like oh yeah, they're just fucking puppets. They'll literally just be telling us how to do shit.
Because then they'll just sue us if it doesn't go our way.
Yeah, it'll be absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it'd throw all the environmental laws out the window. It would throw all the basic trade laws and stuff out the window. It'd be pretty obscene. Hopefully it won't get passed, but you know what? Congress doesn't give a fuck about us. They'll just take their nut and leave.
Don't they usually bust their nut?
Well, they're not like the big amount of money they're getting.
Yeah, no, I know.
But only with little boys, because they're sort of like Catholic Church in that respect, it seems like.
Creepy.
I mean, every time they sit there and they all turn out to be a bunch of like gay dudes who are like doing meth and fucking whores, like gay dude whores, not like lady whores.
Wasn't that the group? Wasn't that the Secret Service in Brazil?
No, the Secret Service is always getting busted banging whores and then not paying them.
Oh.
But Congress is always getting busted with male prostitutes.
Okay. Sorry,
Yeah, that's how you can tell the difference.
Okay,
Secret Service is banging the ladies and not paying them. The Congress is banging the dudes and not paying them enough to shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's how you can tell a Secret Serviceman from a congressman and how they pay their whores.
Yeah, one doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
come on, and that's almost on the whore. I mean, like, almost.
Well, you would think after the first time they'd never be able to get another whore in that country. They'd be like, "Yeah, dude, you guys don't pay."
Yeah, that word travels around. Oh, the Secret Service don't pay. Don't trust them with any of their business. I mean, but you gotta ask for
Oh, go ahead.
You gotta ask for that shit up front.
Oh yeah, you should always get paid first. But in those countries, to be honest, you probably don't want to pay first because they might just take the money and run. And then what are you gonna do?
No, I'm talking about the whores asking for money up front.
Well, they should do like a half and half deal. Take half now and half after. Because in those countries, literally, you're just as likely to have the girl run off as actually have sex with you after you pay them. Because what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, I already paid for them. I get to rape them now? No, that's not really how that works. You're gonna end up in that country's jail, and they're gonna fucking put you in jail for a really long time.
Yay! We're really just like talking about the most bright and shiny of subjects.
All right, here we go. Bright and shiny. Got bright and shiny for you.
I doubt it.
Would I lie to you?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Hundreds of sex toys dangling from power lines in Portland, Oregon.
Because that's how they roll.
Basically, people are tying dildos together and then like flinging them over power lines like people did with shoes.
Nice.
Yeah. And so it's just resulted in a lot of like calls to like the Portland Office of Neighborhood Involvement. I assume that's like as opposed to the police.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Like, who thinks of that?
I don't know, but they're awesome.
Like, you know what? I'm gonna tie two dildos together and throw them over a power line. Just like the good old days.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's like some sex shop's way of like marketing, like viral marketing.
Oh, come on!
Everybody's talking about our dildos up in them trees or power lines.
Those dildos are brought to you by Spice.
Is Spice like an actual store or something?
Yeah. Wait, you don't know that?
I don't really shop at like adult stores.
Well, I mean, I'm not shopping at an adult store, but I at least know it exists.
Well, because anything you want, you can buy on the internet anyway. So why would
Pretty
you go into a place? You have better selection on the internet too.
Probably.
I mean, like you could buy anything from like a life-sized sex doll for like what are those real dolls, like $4 or $5 I think, to just like a standard vibrator online. I mean, I can't imagine why anybody would go into the store. I guess if you wanted like advice from somebody.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there's a point. Yeah.
Or try it out.
Or like hands-on, get a better idea of what you're buying.
Yeah, because I mean,
I bought some shit off the internet, not sex toys, but just random stuff that just is not what it said it was.
Yeah, at least if you can, hold on to it, you go, okay, this is what I'm buying. I want to buy this as it flops around in your hand.
Yeah, really. Yeah, nothing like, or what is it? So there was this, I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but there was this UK sex store that had like a 6 or 7 episode like reality show about it, where they just showed all the stuff that was going on. And their return section was hilarious because people would buy these gigantic dildos. I mean, like bigger around than your arm. Just massive ones. And they would always return them too big. Didn't realize what I was buying. And this company's return policy is pretty much they'll take anything back. Like they just want you to be happy. They'll take anything back.
Okay.
And used or not, like they're really ridiculously good about that. Because like some of this stuff was like attempted to use, but was too painful. And you're just like, well, that's because it's 6 inches in diameter. You fucking wacko. I don't know. You thought that was gonna fit in your asshole.
It's like a bazooka. It's like sitting there on your shoulder.
It's more than fisting. Like it's bigger than a fist.
That's gross.
Well, I think what happens is they see the picture and the picture just doesn't do it justice because there's nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
Like they should probably put like some sort of scale item in all of their pictures, like a pen or something.
A human arm.
Like, oh wow, like that pen is, wow, that's really a lot bigger than that pen. Well, human arms can vary in size. I was just thinking like a basic ballpoint pen because those are pretty much always the same size.
Yeah. Okay. That's true. That's still fairly creepy. Something that would be like that. No. That's a bad image.
Well, and they always used like gloves and stuff when they were opening the returns packages because they were just like, it's just you don't risk it.
Yeah.
People don't always give you a warning up front that it's used.
I would imagine someone wearing like a full hazmat suit using like the tongs. Like just to pull out the item.
No, they didn't do that. They just wore like rubber gloves. Although there were a couple times that stuff dripped.
Ugh. Come on, at least wash it off.
Who knows what it is? It might just be water. It might be something else. But they would like spray that shit down with some disinfectant real good.
Just coat it.
Oh, man.
We'll get a second layer, come back 30 minutes later, coat it again.
Well, they threw all this stuff away. At least they weren't trying to resell it.
Yeah, that's...
This story, I just caught this one by chance. Police in Utah scooped up 2 16-year-old boys who stole tubs of ice cream from a truck while broadcasting their escapade live online. So they live streamed the robbery.
They win the Darwin Award. Yay!
Yeah, they used the Twitter's Periscope app. They did it on purpose.
Why?
And then, after they stole the ice cream, they went and placed it randomly on porches of their neighbors as gifts. Oh, man, that sounds exactly like something a 16-year-old would dream up as a funny idea.
Yeah.
That is fucking awesome. They fucking put it on Periscope. Hey, everybody, watch us commit a felony. Whee!
Yay, felony!
There'd be no consequences to that. Oh man, I'm glad that wasn't an option when I was a kid.
Why, you probably do something stupid like that?
Well, I'm not saying I've ever committed any crimes. I'm just saying I might have tried to broadcast some stuff that might have been criminal in some way, shape, or form, and that's as narrowed down as that's going to get.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations applies to everything I did, but...
Yeah, I think you're probably in the clear if it's from when you were younger.
Yeah. But yeah, there was some stuff that we did that was definitely not legal. Oddly, not a lot of drugs, though.
Illegal!
Hey, now we seem like we're funny.
This is terrible. We must end this.
We're getting close. We're almost there. We should apologize to our fans. We're really sorry, man.
Hey, we're working with what we got and a shitty internet connection. So
yeah, really, yeah. That's the sad part. Is my internet's pretty awful. All right, I got one last story here.
Oh boy.
Russian mosquito festival seeks most delicious girl.
Ew.
Yeah, for women who don't mind bug bites.
I'm not sure how to think about this one.
So apparently the most delicious girl contest is with women in shorts and vests, and they stand still for 20 minutes to allow the blood-sucking insects to feast. An expert panel of judges, including a doctor, will examine their bodies, and the winner will be the one with the most bites.
Wait, so the idea for a contest in Russia is to be purposely bitten by mosquitoes as many times as possible.
Yeah, and the one who won in the 2013 title had 100 bites during the 20-minute competition.
Holy shit.
Can you just imagine, like, the itch? My God.
Yeah. That, I mean, my max amount I've ever gotten was 37.
Wow, really? How'd you do that?
I went on guess what? I guess it'd be like an 11-hour hike up to Half Dome. Up and
Oh,
down to
wow,
Half
okay.
Dome. And so I got about 37, maybe 36 to 38 bites. It was hard to count them all.
Good Lord.
But
I mean, at what point do you have to start worrying about actual blood loss?
I'm not sure, but that hike was so exhausting that feeling my legs was something I was concerned more about.
Oh, your legs actually started to go numb on the hike?
Like I was really starting to give out. I mean, I thought I was in good shape, but that's laughable.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's different types of muscles anyway.
Yeah.
It's like when you take up dancing, you have a whole different set of muscles you start working from when you're just walking around.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think the longest hike I ever took was like 6 hours. It wasn't definitely not up to Half Dome.
I think what's the longest one I've ever done was actually it's probably about that long, but the distance was 22 miles.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it
Was that a
was
steady pace of
sadly
2 miles
not.
an hour?
There was
Well, I mean, it's 11 hours and 22 miles. You did
no.
2 miles
Those are
throughout.
those were different. Those were different. I think it was. Oh gosh, I think it was a bit more on that one. Maybe a bit. No. I think it was probably about like 15 or something for Half Dome. But I went on a separate hike. It was a whole nother hike that was 22 miles, over by like over on the coast.
Yeah, but didn't you say it was about the same amount of time?
I guess so. Yeah.
So then that second hike would have been a steady pace of roughly 2 miles an hour at least.
I guess so.
Probably goes, your speed probably raises and lowers, but overall.
I'm trying to think of how long it took us for both of them. Actually, yeah, I guess it would be about the same. Never mind. Sorry, I never really took the time to compare the two. I mean, it both were awesome and sucked in their own way.
What was it? When I was really at the height of my fitness, I went hiking up at this place, and God, it must have been a grade of like 30 degrees or something. I mean, it was pretty close to vertical. And I started hiking up it. I mean, it was just enough that you could walk it, but you had to kind of lean into it real hard to not fall backwards down the fucking hill. And it was only like the first mile was like that. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm in great shape. Look at me. I'm just trucking along until some like tiny little girl just goes running by, like legitimately running. And I'm just like, yep, there's always somebody in way better shape. It was hilarious.
I had something like that when I was doing Tough Mudder last year. And so it was cool. I'm going to probably try to like back it up and give a little context. So me and my girlfriend did Tough Mudder last year, and while you're waiting to start, they're doing all these announcements, trying to pump you up and stuff like that. But one of the segments is trying to get people to raise their hands on how many Tough Mudders they've done. And since that was my first one, we, I think we did like that first one, and then we're like, okay, cool, everyone cheer. But they cycle through everybody else, and then they turn into who's done 10 or more. And there was like 2 people out of our group of maybe 50 of us. And one was like this kind of muscly dude, and the other one was this older lady. And what I mean by older, I'm probably going to think about late 50s into the 60s.
Yeah.
And think about, for I guess anyone who wouldn't know what a Tough Mudder is if they're watching this.
Yeah, I was going to say, you probably should explain what that is.
Sorry, yeah, like I think I mentioned it earlier, so for some reason I feel like I wouldn't have to explain that. So let me even take a step back further. Tough Mudder is a 10 to 13 mile obstacle course. The obstacles are set uh, by the standards of British Special Forces, and there's about 20 to 25 obstacles per race. It's insanity and awesomeness all wrapped up into one. And the best part, I guess, that I cling to is it's very team oriented. Not even just the team that you bring, but also the camaraderie with someone random next to you. And that concept kind of like drove us to do this craziness and get in shape and really kind of tackle something. And we have our own special reasons behind it. You know, I've my with my health reasons for Crohn's and everything. Was something I really wanted to do. Was something this crazy because I wanted to prove to myself that I can do it.
Yeah.
So that's, in a nutshell, that's what it is. And we were doing this one. It's one of the harder courses up in the mountains in Tahoe, and Lake Tahoe. That's in California, Maine, in Maine. It's in Maine. And I'm going to go back to this older lady. So the other person, who is this person who've done 10 of these, fucking 10 of these, didn't look like she was in super fantastic shape, but, you know, appearances and everything. So we start the race, we're cruising right along, you know, you feel comfortable, kind of like your story. We were kind of cruising along, like, yeah, we can do this, this feels great. And so we get through the first obstacles, now, you know, kind of a breeze, we're like, okay, cool, we're just pumping along, chug, 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 chug. And all of a sudden, this older lady just flies right past us. Just, big cloud of dust. And she just passes, like, not even sweating. I was like, okay, yeah. Go her, because she is a stud. We did not see her for the rest of the race. Or I guess the rest of the whole, like, I guess it's not a race, but the rest of the event. Right when she blew past us, we might have seen her near the end, because there's kind of like this clusterfuck. But that was just kind of how it ended up with a lot of people.
Kind of want to see her do like an actual SS course. See if she puts like the soldiers to shame.
Yeah, like, it was amazing. It's like don't ever judge somebody by, you know, like what you, like, I guess their physical, like, initial physical appearance. Because you never know. You really never know what people are capable of. Because
that was part of my argument with Klaas and Mike on BMI.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, that's about it right there. I mean, it was great. That was a great experience, and you get to see a lot of people who are just pushing, you know, pushing. And you get to help out a lot of people. Like,
so what were like a couple of the obstacles that you had to overcome? I'm curious because you say obstacle course. I'm like, was it like running through tires or like what?
Okay, so at least the few of them I liked the most was a fairly basic one that me and my girlfriend, which I guess I would call Esmeralda. I'm not going to actually use real names, kind of like how you deal with myself. It was this kind of heavy net that's pushed to the ground, like kind of like bolted into the ground. And the concept of it is to have one person hold up a part of the net, have that person, the next person come by you, hold up the next part of the net, and then you kind of, in sequence, make your way up. And so it's just like you go hold net, person goes past you, holds that part of the net, you go past, kind of. And
that sounds kind of weird. Yeah.
It sounds like it can be the hardest thing if you're doing it by yourself. But it was the coolest thing ever when you just kind of click with somebody, and you just kind of and we flew through that thing like in seconds. It was great.
So do you have to go under the net?
You have to go underneath it, and the concept is
okay, and then you hold it up. The other guy comes into your space, and then he moves a little further along, and you kind of
up the next one. You kind of.
I was picturing you on top of the net, holding it up, and then the guy coming and just picking another section up for no reason, and I'm like, why not just run over the net?
No, you're all going underneath the net.
Yeah, now I get it. Yeah.
So, let's see. I got at least 3 more that really kind of, I guess, put a stamp on, you know, how how much I enjoyed it and kind of challenged myself. So there's one that has the best name ever, and it's called Arctic Enema. Yeah. So it is, picture if you will. No, imagine this. It is, I would say, about 8 feet wide and about, I don't know, maybe 20 feet long, and it's filled with water and ice. This
Sounds
is
fun.
cool. It is, yeah, it is a gigantic ice bath that goes to about, if you're going about 5'9" in height, maybe up to your stomach, maybe up to your, probably up to your chest.
It's definitely getting the balls. That's the
Yeah.
important.
Oh yeah. When you're jumping in this thing, yeah, there's no dodging that.
Your balls
here-
are just up in your stomach right away.
And
Boom.
here's the kicker. They're cutting the length in half is a wooden wall, a solid wood wall that goes just underneath the water.
Oh, you have to dive under the wall.
The concept is to jump into the ice bath, go underneath the wall, and pop out the other side and pull yourself out. It's quick, it's simple,
Christ.
but you have to do it. And the trick is, I mean, they modified it for this coming year, but when we did it, I guess it was 2013. The idea was to jump in, give yourself enough momentum to hit the bottom, and then kind of skip out in all one motion.
Yeah, that sounds just awful. Like, I have a hard time when the water heater's not working and I got to take a cold shower. that's enough for me, man.
But no, I do have a pretty intense picture that I might actually post to Twitter, but because I'm kind of proud of how it looks because they take pictures as you do this.
Oh, that's nice.
Like every once in a while.
Them.
I know, right?
Just in case I make a fool out of myself and I end up being like shamed through the whole thing. Thank you for photoing it.
Yeah, of course.
Nothing like a record.
But no, thankfully I got it in one nice motion, so I wasn't freezing my ass for too long. And I guess not so much luck for Esmeralda, because she didn't quite get a good enough jump when she hit the water, and so she had to stop, go underneath, and pop back out. And you were seeing people who were having a lot of issue with that. There was one person who had to get pulled out because her legs locked up.
Yeah, no, you can have a real bad response to cold sometimes.
And so a lot of injuries happen with this kind of thing. Actually, Esmeralda being one person who did experience it at the end. And
it is a special forces based training thing. I mean,
yeah.
You kind of have to expect that you could get injured. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, I was feeling pretty banged up and bruised. I was lucking out for the most part, just being overall just exhausted, not being injured in any way. But actually, I'll save the injury story for not now and probably not ever, because I'm sure my girlfriend would be pissed to tell that story. But but in honest opinion, I think it's just absolutely her being a badass, completely. Like, just wholeheartedly doing something that no one wants to do. Because I'll give her the reason why. By explaining what the last obstacle is. The last obstacle is called electroshock therapy. And it is as bad as it sounds. What it is a wooden structure that, hanging from the top of it, is, I would say, several hundred jellyfish tasers.
Wait, what?
Jellyfish tasers. You know, the coils? It's like little rubber coils, and when you touch it, it zaps.
Wow, that's really dangerous.
Yeah, obviously you can duck out of these obstacles if you're either A, injured, or B, it is a hazard to your health, like, you have a weak heart.
Are they genuine, like, jellyfish parts?
No.
Okay, it's just
it
like
is a term used to, like, as they're designed. It looks like jellyfish coils.
Okay, the reason I was saying that is because you could have an allergic reaction to, like, actual jellyfish stings.
No. No, no,
That's
no.
what I was thinking.
It's what they're called, but it's a general, just like a coil that is electrified.
So you gotta like what? Climb the tower and touch them or something?
No, the object is to run through them.
Oh,
And you don't know which ones are live and which ones aren't, because they all look the same.
well,
And
yeah.
so you
And
can
electricity isn't visible.
yeah, you can't see electricity. So you run through these like an idiot, and you might get zapped or you might not. Most of the time, you're gonna get zapped.
Yeah.
I myself got hit about 5 times, and thankfully in the arms,
Was
because
it? And it was obviously a fairly low current like zap, so they don't.
if it hits you in a vital spot, then you can go down. Like you could get knocked
No,
out.
that's really stupid then, because you could really like. I mean, it's like tasing people. You shouldn't
Pretty
do it for
much.
fun because you could kill somebody without even knowing it.
Yeah, I mean it's not. It won't kill you. It's not gonna kill you.
But they don't know that. That's the thing. That's why tasing people is dangerous, and you're only supposed to do it in the case of like emergencies or training with really specific safety protocols.
And I mean, it's a couple of years of doing this, and that's kind of like one of their cornerstone ones. And no one's been
Then it
hit,
must
like
be,
pays the point of
must
it's
be
not.
relatively weak. Are you talking about like the pain will knock you down, or the electricity will lock you up?
It will not. Yeah, it'll knock you down. Definitely knock you down. It's not gonna like. You're not gonna die from it. You're not gonna like black out, and you're gonna.
But it's
sit
not
there.
going to lock your muscles up, right?
I mean, you see a lot of people falling down. Watch.
But I mean, like like when somebody gets tased, how
Let's see.
their muscles convulse and they just can't keep standing anymore.
I think a
Is
better
it that level
explanation-
of current, or is it like the kind where it's like, "Ow, motherfucker, that hurts," and they start rolling around because it hurt?
I think the best way to explain it is to probably watch a few of those videos.
Well, okay, because one of those is really dangerous, and it's really unlikely that the type of people that event draws are going to end up having like a fatal experience. But you just don't know
True.
if somebody's going to get killed from electrical shock like that. That's what I'm just saying.
True.
That's really dangerous.
I don't think it's enough to kill somebody, because I feel like it's been going on since probably about 2010.
Yeah.
And two people have died, but it's not even that obstacle. It was something else. It was
Two
well, no,
people died, but it wasn't that one. I love the way you put that, by the way.
it's the one. Well, it's the one you imagine. Like you think, oh, okay, you're getting electrocuted. That makes sense. Well, it's like no. What it actually is, at least for one of the cases, I can't quite remember the other one. It's called walk the plank, where you're jumping off. I think it was like a 15-foot diving board into like really deep water. So you're trusting your swimming ability. And obviously, people like lifeguards are watching you, but there's still that level of, you might, if your swimming ability isn't well enough and you get hurt going down, you're still taking that into chance. I mean, you have to understand how your body works, and so there is that risk involved. There's that risk involved.
That one I can see people really just not really understanding how dangerous that is, 'cause it's only water.
Yeah,
People dive in the water all the time.
and
Realistically, though, if they have lifeguards there, they should have them in the water.
true. Actually, I mean, if you're gonna have someone sitting in water the entire time, yeah, I guess that would make sense.
They should. They should have like little areas where they basically are like in the water and like where they can stand.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's the only stories I've got from it. Honestly, they should. I think they try to take as much precaution of it as possible.
I'm sure. I'm sure as much as is reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, it is after all like a military training course. I'm not surprised people have died on it.
But still, like out of how many that go on throughout the country and in other countries, and how many years it's been going on, you only lose a few of them. I mean, as tragic as they are, that is tragic that they die. But
the way you said it,
ratio is
pretty you only lose a few of them, man. Just a couple ones drop. That's it.
I mean, you'd imagine from what you're doing. You're running through like tasers.
Man, I thought I
you're
was a
jumping in
cold
super deep
motherfucker.
water.
Telling some kid that his dad was an idiot, but yeah, no, it's cool.
I mean, you know what I mean. You know,
what
I'm
you
not
mean.
being a heartless asshole. I really do feel
Oh,
for people
man.
who end up getting. I mean, when we're all trying to have fun and enjoy something like this.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean
You know, it's tragic.
I'm sure that there's probably a similar rate of attrition when you look at like some of the big
Dick.
what do you call them, marathons?
Yeah.
Big marathons and stuff like that, where people are running like 20 miles or 10 miles or whatever. I'm sure there's a similar rate of attrition.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have heart attacks or whatever from just overdoing it,
and you're pushing yourself. Like, actually, with that particular obstacle, the diving board one, when I did that one, I jumped into the water, and the instant I hit the water, my right leg locked up. Like my hamstring muscle just kind of locked, and I was swimming with three limbs.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, I'm glad, at least I have one good leg right now until I get out of the water. But holy crap, that's scary. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's a freak accident if I wasn't able to swim out of there, but it's the risk you take, and I'm a little crazy for it. Yeah. But it's it's the choice you make to jump in and throw yourself in there.
Oh yeah, no. Like, believe me, none of the criticizations I'm making are like, oh, they shouldn't do that or they shouldn't do this. It's just like, well, there's certain safety precautions you really should have on hand if you're doing.
Oh, very true. Very
like if you're applying electricity to people on that level, you should probably have somebody with like a defibrillator just in case.
It's there was that. There's several people sit there that carry like a big rod of some kind to move all the coils away if someone's having too much trouble getting out of that particular obstacle. Like if they're not, it's not showing like physical, it's not hurting them too much, but they're still having trouble like getting out.
Yeah, if you need to rescue someone from it, I'm sure.
Yeah, so it's like they do that. They take a lot of people to make sure.
I think the biggest risk is probably people who just aren't honest about their actual fitness level more than anything else.
There's a lot of times, you see near the end of the race, that's where the injuries start happening.
Yeah, like I wouldn't do something like that because my knees aren't that great. Like, yeah, I'm in terrible shape now, but I mean, even when I was in really good shape, I wouldn't have done that because my knees weren't that great. And I guarantee there's a lot of shock to the knees in that kind of course.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And one big scrape to the balls. I hated that.
That's worse than a direct hit too.
Yeah,
it was blows that are the worst, man. Oh, why is that?
I don't know. It was the worst thing ever. I was trying to climb one of the wall obstacles. It was like an 8-foot wall, and so you have to like try to scale yourself over. And so I threw one leg over, and I tried to I guess get a lot of momentum with it, and I got nothing. And I do nothing but just scrape the top part of it all against my front side. I'm sitting there like, oh good. And I'm hanging off the other. I got myself over, but I'm sitting there, just with only my face looking on back from where I came from, and you can see the guy in line, behind me, just making eye contact with me, going, "I'm so sorry."
Oh man, that's
I feel your pain, but it was. If anything, that was the worst. It's just scraping my junk on that wall so hard. That was the worst.
Yeah, I'm sure your girlfriend regretted that one too, right?
I'm sure she did.
Oh man.
And I will be doing another one of those. I am insane.
Yeah, right on, dude.
I will be.
Yeah, go for it, man. There's no reason not to. You enjoy that shit, go for it, man. I'll never do that.
Yeah, well,
even if I get to the point where I'm fucking built like Arnold, never gonna do that. Just not my thing. I like me some hiking. Not a real big fan of running.
Well, I mean, there wasn't running involved. Trust me. We were doing jogging and a lot of walking. It's 11 miles. Go fuck yourself if you can run that whole thing.
Oh, I'm sure there's people out there. There's definitely some people out there, and they're weird, skinny looking.
I mean, I guess if you're in that good a shape, good for you. That's a lot of effort.
You've seen those that weird sort of skinny, muscly body.
Oh yeah.
That runner's body. Those ones who can really go long distance. They got the really long legs, and they're just built for it.
But lucky or a lot of effort.
Yep. I think I'll pass. That sounds awful to me. I'm glad you enjoy it. That just sounds awful to me, though.
So I'll be
Way
sure to
too
tell
lazy.
you about the next one.
There you go. Yeah, we'll have to video it. Put it up.
Strap a GoPro to my chest, like probably so many other people who do that do.
Oh, I was thinking, can you have anybody like follow you along the course and just video you from like the side or something?
You can for some of it.
But not for all of it.
Well, we start with that particular course. It went into the mountains, and so it's like eventually what's the spectator path doesn't match up with it.
Oh, there's only so much you get to see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that would be tough, like to have two paths like going along with each other.
It wouldn't really be that hard, but it'd probably be costly.
Yeah.
It just cost a lot of money to do it to a certain extent. Like, I'm sure they basically use stuff that's already there for the most part.
For the most part, and just build the obstacles around it.
Yeah, exactly. I would be pretty shocked if they were actually cutting trails. Because I'm sure there's like a lot of red tape, and you got to get permits and all sorts of shit, depending on where what land it's on and
yeah,
who owns the land and how do how are you going to use it? Well,
see, the one thing I do kind of like is they adapt the obstacle course to the terrain. If you're in a mountainy area, you're going to get a lot of those kind of obstacles. If you're in a more flatlandy area, when it's going to be a lot more flatter obstacles, or at least a lot more that can be added to it, like add or subtracted. It's kind of cool because so you can go to one in one area and get what you'd expect, but then you're going to move to entirely different terrain, and you're going to get something completely different. So it's a cool idea, and it's getting crazy popular. It's in Europe, it's down in Australia, it's all over the United States.
The name is catchy.
Yeah.
Tough Mudder just has that name, that ring to it that you're like, yeah, I can see a lot of people want to do it just to say, oh, I'm a Tough Mudder.
If I did, I can't remember. But I don't think I'm that hokey. I probably am that hokey.
You probably said it at some point, like at the end when you're all exhausted and shit.
And you just like can't feel.
You're like, oh, I'm a Tough Mudder. Oh no, I'm gonna regret that later. Block it out. Block it out.
Why?
Oh man, that's awful. All right, I think that'll round out our podcast for today.
Holy crap! Did we go an hour?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of ourselves.
The sad and lonely hour with Hearth and Stabby.
Just like good old times, where we're just sad and lonely all the time.
There you go. Boom.